So, dear friends, thank you for coming tonight. We are very glad to see so many people. Wonderful. Before we begin the talk, we would like to begin with a short guided meditation. And for all of you who are not yet familiar with our practice, this is a precious opportunity to just let yourself be guided by the meditation. I will begin by inviting 3 sounds of the bell. So if you are not yet sitting stably with an upright posture, this would be your invitation to find a comfortable posture that is relaxed, where you can feel at ease in your body, feeling the ground underneath you. And you can simply check in with yourself, with what is alive right now. I'll begin by listening to 3 sounds of the bell. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, my breath grows deep. Breathing out, my breath goes slowly, deep, slow. Breathing in, I am aware of my body. Breathing out, I relax my body. In, aware of body. Out, relax. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I care for my body. In, calm, out, care. Breathing in, I smile to my body. Breathing out, I feel ease in my body. In, smile, out, ease. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, I know this is a wonderful moment. In, present moment. Out, wonderful moment. Thank you, dear friends, for joining this short guided meditation. So now we can stretch ourselves a little bit, wiggle our feet, and the monastics will leave the stage, and we'll get ready for listening to the talk this evening.
So, good evening, dear friends. Can everyone hear me okay? Yes. Okay. So, we will begin our talk by listening to 3 sounds of the bell. And when we hear the sound of the bell, we can come back to our body, come back to our breathing, and completely relax our body and our mind. I listen. This wonderful sound brings me back to my true home in the here and in the now. Let us begin with the smiling meditation. So let us smile, which is the most basic form of peace work. We are alive. This is a happy moment. And we can also smile to the people around us. So we can look around and offer a beautiful smile. So life is full of wonders. The blue sky, the clouds, the ocean, the seagulls close by, the flowers, the trees, our loved ones. There are so many wonders that we can be in touch with. And mindfulness is the energy that helps us to do that. So mindfulness is one of the key practices at Plum Village, where we come from. And mindfulness is the energy that helps us to be aware of what is happening in the present moment. What is happening inside of us and around us. Often our mind is lost in thinking about the past, maybe some sorrow, some regret about the past, or often about the future, something we need to do, some project, some worry or anxiety about the future. So our mind is running, and sometimes we lose touch with the present moment and the wonders of life. So the practice of mindfulness, and especially mindful breathing, helps to bring our mind and our body together. Like we have practiced already. And the beautiful thing about mindfulness is this is something we can practice wherever we are, whatever we're doing. While walking, eating, speaking on the telephone, brushing our teeth, and so forth. And mindful breathing is one of the practices that really help us to be mindful. So we can gently bring our attention to our in-breath and our out-breath. We are breathing all day, but we forget. And it's something very simple, but the effect of mindful breathing can be very great. So I hope that we can all become good friends with our breath. And it is a friend that is always there for us. And we can learn a lot about ourselves and how we're doing through our breathing. So our theme is Peace is the Way. And the first book that I read of our teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, whom we call Thai, is Being Peace. So our practice is being peace. So I think we all want peace in the world, and maybe we also engage in some peace work. But sometimes all of us, including myself, have a lot of anger or despair, sadness, fear in us. So our practice is really to generate concretely the energy of peace. And each mindful breath, each mindful step, each smile can help us to generate the energy of peace and really be peace. And when we are peace, everything we say, everything we do will contribute to the work of peace. And of course, this is a training. This is something that we cultivate. And we begin by peace in our body. So we come back to our body and we check, how is my body doing? Sometimes there may be some pain, some tension, some unease in our body. And with our mindful breathing, we embrace it and relax our body and generate the energy of peace in our body, like we did in our guided meditation. And after that, we can generate peace in our feelings. So we can generate the energy of joy, the energy of happiness. And mindfulness helps us to be in touch with so many conditions of happiness that are available in the present moment. So we can practice like this. Breathing in, I know I'm alive. Breathing out, I smile to life. I feel happy because to be alive on this beautiful planet is a great happiness. We can be aware of our two eyes that help us to be in touch with all the beauty of life. The beautiful ocean here. Scotland is such a beautiful country. You're so lucky. So you should be very happy about that. And people from the UK, from Scotland are so friendly, So to live in such a friendly country is also a great source of happiness. So, as we practice, we can be in touch with so many conditions of happiness that we have, and that can concretely help us generate the energy of joy and the energy of happiness. And the more that we practice this, the more that we cultivate this, the happier we can be. In our practice, we practice to cultivate the mind, to cultivate the good seeds in our mind, the seeds of joy, of peace, of love, understanding, and compassion. And when we cultivate these good seeds, it will give rise to the feeling of happiness. And at the same time, we try not to water the unbeneficial seeds, the seeds of discrimination, violence, despair in us. So before we continue, let us enjoy one sound of the bell, coming back to ourselves. When we have generated the energy of joy and happiness, we come back and we also take good care of our suffering. No, not my suffering. we may be quite afraid of our suffering, of going home, of listening and being in touch with our suffering. We may be afraid that we may be overwhelmed by our suffering and we have no way to take good care of it. But we know that there is a deep connection between happiness and suffering. In Plum Village, we speak of the interbeing of happiness and suffering. That our happiness is the mud that can give rise to the beautiful lotus of understanding and compassion, which is really the basis of true happiness. And with the energy of mindfulness, we need not be afraid of our suffering. We don't need to cover it up through consumption, but we can come back, come home, and take good care of our suffering. So we can recognize it, we can accept our suffering, and even welcome it. Welcome my sadness, welcome my fear. I am here for you. I will take good care of you. And then we embrace it tenderly. Just like when a baby is crying, a loving mother goes to the baby and embraces him or her tenderly in her two arms. And we can do the same with our sadness, our fear, our suffering, and the energy of mindfulness, mindful breathing, mindful walking can help us to embrace and take good care of our suffering. Our suffering contains within it the suffering of our parents, of our ancestors, our country, our community. So when we get in touch with our suffering, we can learn a lot. We can understand other people and give rise to the energy of compassion. So we have the art of happiness, the art of generating joy, peace and happiness. And then we also have the art of suffering, how to take good care of our suffering. And I think in life, we will all go through some difficulties in our life. We may have some difficulties with our health. We might even lose a loved one. And then, of course, there are so many difficulties going on in the world. And sometimes so many emotions come up in us. We feel confused. We're not sure what to do. And we are all looking for a refuge. So how can we handle our despair, our grief, our fear, and our strong emotions? So I think in Scotland it's very windy. And you can observe a tree when it's very windy. And I've been observing the trees here a lot. And you will see that the branches, when it's very windy, the branches sway and move about. But the trunk of the tree is very solid. So our practice is the same, is when we feel overwhelmed, swept away by all the winds, by all of our strong emotions, we can come back to our trunk and to our belly breathing. So we can try that together. So let us take our two palms and put them on our abdomen, on our belly. We can close our eyes and gently feel the rise and the fall of our abdomen. As we breathe in, our abdomen rises. And as we breathe out, it falls. In, rising. Out, falling. And one more time. In. Out. So we can practice this in the sitting position. Also in the lying down position is very good. Sometimes if I feel overwhelmed by anger or something, I just lie down and breathe like this and calm and take good care of my anger and my strong emotions. So please don't stay on the level of your head, but come back to our breathing and our belly breathing. And within each of us, there is an island, an inner island, where we feel safe, an island of peace, of joy. This island is very beautiful, with birds and trees, beautiful flowers, and we can touch this island anytime through the practice of mindfulness. Something else that we can take refuge also is in community. And when a community practices together, it generates a very powerful energy, a collective energy, which can really support us and help us to embrace our difficulties and our pain. So I think building community and taking refuge in community is very important. Firstly, for our individual difficulties, but also, as we all know, about all the difficulties that are going on in the world. So the community can be also a true source of refuge for us. And then we can also take refuge in Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is a very solid place of refuge. And she loves us unconditionally. So whenever we have some difficulty, we can take refuge in Mother Earth. And actually we are in touch with her all through the day, sitting, walking, lying down. So we can remember our deep connection with the earth. And if you are able to, as I said, Scotland is so beautiful, so you can spend some time by the ocean, in the mountains, hugging a beautiful tree, and that can also really support us in our practice. So I want to share a story about this, about my brother-in-law. And my brother-in-law lived in India, in Calcutta. And he was walking on the street, on the road, and suddenly he was hit by a bus. And so he entered the hospital and he was in coma for 2 or 3 days. And then he passed away. So of course this was something very unexpected. No one could imagine. And it was a big shock for my sister and for my 2 nephews, for my 2 young nephews. And this was something very difficult for my whole family, this death. And you can imagine all the emotions that came up for everyone. The deep grief, sadness. And at that time I was staying at our practice center in Thailand, and I requested to go and be with my sister and be with my family, and so I could spend some time with them. And so I could do that and just be present first of all. And some people in the family, they were so affected that they could not even sleep properly. So one thing that we decided to do, of course we had some rituals. We belong to the Hindu tradition, so we had the Hindu ceremonies and rituals. But after that we decided to have a celebration of his life. So we invited close friends and family to come, and we could have a celebration. So we could have a video and see some beautiful memories, and then people could share their memories and also about his beautiful qualities and what they appreciated about him. So there was a lot of actually joy, and we called it a celebration, a lot of laughter, and at the same time a lot of tears and healing. And it was a very beautiful session. And I was able to hold and facilitate that session. And after that, many friends and family, they came to me and they said, thank you for having this. And they said, they felt much more at peace after this. And it really helped them. So for myself personally, I was also going through a lot of strong emotions because I was very close to my brother-in-law. But in that difficult moment, the practice really helped me to take care of these emotions. And I'm the youngest one in my family. My sister, my brother, they are older than I am. But in a way, I could be a refuge for my family, thanks to the practice that I've learned from our teacher and our community. So we have learned a little bit about generating peace in ourselves. And then how do we generate peace in our groups and communities, in our family, at our workplace, at school, in different communities. So one of the concrete practices that can really help us is the practice of deep listening and loving speech. So first we come back home to ourselves and we listen to ourselves. We listen to our body and we listen to what is happening inside of us and also to our suffering, as I said earlier. And once we do that, we become fully present for other people, for our loved ones, and for others. So with the energy of mindfulness, we offer our true presence for the other and we listen to them with the energy of openness and the energy of compassion. So when we listen to others, we are open to different views and ideas, different opinions, different ways of thinking. And this sounds beautiful, but it's not easy. When they say something, whoop, something gets triggered. But that's not right. So we come back to our body, to our breathing, and really try and be open in our body, in our mind, and listen to them. And then we can also listen. What are they really trying to say? We can listen to their difficulty, to their suffering, to their deep hope and dreams, to the aspirations. And if we are really present, we can actually hear a lot what is going on for them, how they are really doing. And this can help us to really understand them. So we can listen deeply to understand. And we can also listen with the energy of loving kindness and compassion. In Plum Village, we say that understanding is the foundation of true love. So if we want to love someone, we need to understand them. And deep listening is a wonderful way to do that. And again, this is something that we cultivate, we train in, and it's a lifetime of training, deep listening. And the other practice is the practice of loving speech. We say that action is actually of three kinds. So the first kind of action is our thinking. Thinking is already action. And the second kind of action is speech. And the way that we speak, what we say, can bring about a lot of happiness, but also about a lot of suffering. So we can really be mindful of our speech and try to speak in a loving way. And we try to speak words that can inspire confidence, inspire peace, hope, and joy. And when irritation or anger is manifesting in us, we try our best not to speak with that energy. And the practice of deep listening and loving speech can bring about reconciliation between individuals, in communities, and even between different groups and nations. So this is a really beautiful practice. And tomorrow, at the Day of Mindfulness, we will learn a lot more about community building. And tomorrow afternoon, we will also have a workshop on the art of communication and taking good care of our relationships. One of the questions that we often get is, how can we stay sane, stay healthy and happy, sometimes given the state of our world, given the climate change, maybe we can say climate emergency, with the war in the Middle East, with Ukraine, with everything that is going on. We feel so overwhelmed, So I would like to share just briefly about this. It's a very big topic. So I think the first thing we need to do is we also need to be in touch with the joy and happiness and the wonders of life, like I shared earlier. And also the good news, the beautiful things that so many people, so many organizations are doing a little bit everywhere all over the world. And that is also true. The wonders of life are also present in this moment. So we do not deny the suffering, that is also true. But we also touch the conditions of joy and peace. I think, as I said, it is also very important to be in touch with the suffering within us, but also outside, which can give rise to compassion in us. But our teacher also advised us sometimes to be in touch with suffering with moderation, because we have some capacity to take in and to embrace suffering. So we need to have an intelligent strategy of consumption of how much suffering we can take in. And then after that, we can be aware of what emotions are going on inside of us. How do I feel in my body? Is there anxiety? Is there fear? Is there grief? Is there despair? And we really come back to our body. Where in my body does it live? Oh, it's in my chest. And it feels hard. So we come back, we are aware of it, and we embrace it again with our mindful breathing. And then we can have an aspiration to do something. And we can act from a place of calm, compassion, courage. So we can all ask ourselves this question: what is my deepest aspiration? What is my deepest aspiration? What do I want to do with my time, with my energy? What do I want to contribute to the world? And what do I want my legacy to be? And I think we all want to make this world a more beautiful place, to contribute meaningfully to society. So we can reflect, and each of us can have our own field of action. And climate change, or as I said, climate emergency, is one of the greatest challenges of our time. And our teacher said that each of us needs to fall in love with the earth. And we also need to have the insight of interbeing. We are not separate from the earth, but we really inter-are. And whatever happens to the earth, it also happens to us. So the earth is so generous, so loving, so kind, and always available for us. And so we can also make this aspiration to take good care of the earth and to do our part to protect the earth. And of course, here at the Ecovillage, you're already doing so many things to take good care of the earth. And one thing that we can practice concretely is practicing contentment. So we can say, I have enough. I have enough conditions of happiness. I have enough. Maybe we can live more simply. We can consume less, and we can have more time to take good care of ourselves. More time with our loved ones, to be in nature. And we have a friend of Plum Village. Her name is Christina Figueres. And she helped chair the Paris Agreement when the COP was held at Paris. It was something very difficult. But she managed to do that. And the practice really helped her with that. And one thing that she says is personal change is systems change. We want to change the system, but it begins with us and transforming ourselves. And I think at this time, what we really need is a kind of collective awakening, a collective shift of consciousness. And we cannot do it by ourselves. This is one of the greatest challenges of our time. And so we can all come together and help. At Plum Village, we have the practice of the 5 mindfulness trainings. And this is something very concrete that was devised by our teacher and also our community. And they are kind of secular ethical guidelines that help us practice mindfulness and also contribute to true peace in ourselves, in our families, our communities, and in the world. So there are 5 of these mindfulness trainings. The first one is reverence or respect for life. And the second one is about true happiness and also about generosity. So I hope later on, if you like, you can have a time to read them, reflect on them. If you feel inspired, you can also bring them into your own life. And they're very easily found on our website and so forth. The third mindfulness training is about true love. The fourth one is about loving speech and deep listening, as I shared before already. And the fifth one is about nourishment and healing and how we consume. And I would like to end my sharing this evening by sharing a prayer of peace. So this prayer was written by our teacher in the 60s. So maybe I can invite you to close your eyes. A prayer for peace. Homage to all the awakened beings. Because of your love for all people, have compassion on us. Help us remember we are just one family. Help us rekindle our compassion and siblinghood and transform our separate interests into loving acceptance for all. May your compassion help us to overcome our hatred. May the love of the great beings help the flowers of peace to bloom in the world. Humbly, we open our hearts to you, so you may help us transform and water the flower of our spirits. With your deep understanding, help our hearts to grow light. Homage to the awakened beings whose great vows and compassion inspire us. I am determined to cultivate only thoughts that increase trust and love. To use my hands to perform only deeds that build community. To speak only words of harmony and aid. May the merit of this prayer be transformed into peace in the world. And may each of us realize this, our deep aspiration.